Should we just take out one and just see once?
Where's my stick? Hey, where'd my stick go? Mom, where'd my stick go? Oh, here it is. Nice.
Slab so you can see.
Oh, look. Oh, some of them are so nice.
Yes. Scarlet runner beans. This is dish of Kikoi farms, and we are so here they grow 30 different types of beans.
We as a community grow about 30 different varieties of beans in the inventories.
Okay.
And this is one of my favorite beans, which is it's a very pretty bean normally, but this is cooked, so it's lost some of its pink color.
Yeah, no, we shot those
You
before. Yeah,
shot the other one, right?
And that's always disappointing for me because I'm like, I know in the back of my head that the color will become more grey. Yeah, because of how pretty they look.
Okay, yeah. And this one, it requires, this Scarlet beans is very picky and choosy in the sense of where it grows. It needs specific climatic conditions. Once it gets it grows abundantly, and we are very lucky that it's chosen our place. And these seeds are again almost 8-9-year-old. So my grandmom used to grow it, and then every year I've been saving and reusing them.
So they're heirloom.
These are all our beans are heirloom. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a Scarlet runner bean miso that we're making. It's like a trial batch. They were fresh beans that were cooked in a pressure cooker for 5 whistles. So that's about 30 minutes or so in Instant Pot, or maybe on the stove top, an hour.
So a little longer, maybe, because
couple of hours.
These do take a while, maybe a couple of hours, and an hour at least.
Yeah.
If it is boiling in the pan.
Yeah.
Did you cook this with salt?
No, we didn't cook this with salt because we're going to measure the salt when we do the koji stuff. So we're just going to measure out how many grams we have of the beans, and we're going to measure directly in this blender jar because we want to blend it afterwards. I'm trying to not let any of the water in right now. We will use that water to help with the blending and rehydrate the koji. And this can be pounded or just like mashed with a potato masher. We're just using this in the interest of time, and
Why can't we use fresh beans?
because we can't digest these. Like there are other types of beans like the fava beans, which were beautiful. Like I could eat so many of those just unripe, like edamame.
And these beans in particular, it does take a lot more to digest. It does require a lot.
So that's also why
Very
it's
heavy bean.
a good thing to ferment with koji because it's kind of pre-breaking down. Okay, so we have about 275 grams of beans, of cooked beans, and my go-to like miso is a medium miso, which is so there are different ages and all this, right? So a medium miso, it's like a good formula that's easy to remember, and it almost always works really well. So with this, we can try that as our first like experiment miso, and then that'll give us the direction of which way we wanted to go. Like the fava beans, I would have done a shorter ferment with less salt, more koji, and like a sweeter, more like a shiro miso. So you can use it for
Making
like,
ice cream.
huh?
To make some ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. To make ice cream or like sweeter, where you're looking for sweeter notes because the bean itself is nice and sweet. And this, I think, can take leaching more easily. But we'll go with the medium one because that way we just know which way to push it in the experiment to a bigger one, right? We do equal amounts of cooked beans to koji, and we do 10% salt and age it for 6 months. And those are again variables that we can play around with based on the different roads.
And do we always need salt for koji?
Yeah, no, not for koji, for miso. Yeah.
Okay, miso.
Yeah.
You need salt.
Yeah. So the difference between miso and shoyu or soy sauce is just the amount of water. So there's more water, the needs to extracting all those amino things, and it makes you need fewer beans to to get that. And with miso, it's like
More concentrated.
more concentrated.
Thicker.
Yeah, it's thicker. It's like a paste.
More piece,
right?
piece.
So this is dehydrated koji from Cote d'Ivoire.
I think it tastes nice. It smells like the perfect snack with a beer. You know, it smells that way. Sitting in a beachside bar and you got a pinch of popcorn or a pinch of your peanuts, you got this meal.
It's a very expensive popcorn.
Yeah.
It is excellent. But also on the other side, also it's got a little bit of the pet food smell. But in a nice way.
I know what you're
In a nice
saying.
way.
Like a kibble?
No, it's not. I know where you're coming from, but yeah, it's that dosi. It's for me, it's more like that genmaicha tea with the puffed rice and the sencha. But there is a fun. I used this before in the black soda fly larvae mixer. It worked out really well. With dried koji, we use a little bit less of it because we rehydrated to get it back up to the weight. But you can't really go very wrong with it. I know we won't use all like 200 grams of this. We maybe do like 150, and we'll rehydrate it with the bean cooking juice. Make use of all the umami stuff and all the nutrients that are already there in this. How we determine how long to age it for. So the ratio is inversely proportional, irrespective of the amount of protein that we use. The amount of koji, like less koji means you use more salt and age it for a longer time. If you use more koji, then you use less salt and age it for a short. So I'm just gonna add all of this in. And we can add in more water if we need to. We're also weighing the water a little bit, and then so 10% of. I did 150 koji, 275 of the beans, and 60 grams of this liquid, the bean cooking liquid. So how much is that?
485.
10%? Yeah,
485.
485. Wow, very impressed with your math skills.
Amazing math skills. I can add it.
What is 10%?
48.
Of that? 48. So we'll round it up to 50 grams of salt.
Does it need more liquid? No.
It may, but we'll see how it blends. So we want it to be. It's better with miso to err on the side of caution and have slightly more liquid than not. So it's better for it to be a wetter miso because you also get tamari as a byproduct, and that keeps it safer than having a very dry miso, which then will just not ferment properly.
Okay.
So, and then the extra tamari can also be harvested. I like to make it a slightly wetter miso. As long as the beans are ground up, that's okay. The koji will absorb water and then become. Okay. So some of the bean water I put into this. I should have saved a bit more. Just dust it with salt because you wanna. It's kind of like a just small layer.
And why do we do this?
So that there's no. When we do this, these are small batches of miso, so it's generally okay. But when you're doing like big batches, you make this into like golf ball size, and then you smack it down. This is not big enough for us to be able to do it, but if you're making like, let's say, I don't know, like a kilo, 5 kilos, whatever, you're smacking it down so that all the air pockets get no air pockets essentially from the momentum of that thing going in, and then but we'll just use our hand. And when you do this, so if there are air pockets, this is like an insurance policy against anything growing in that space. Haven't quite broken down, but that's okay. It'll rehydrate and will break itself down as long as the beans are stuck. It's fine. You can have like chunky miso
Okay.
also, so you can, if you mash it, it doesn't have to be done like
But you
this.
said enough water. Is this enough water? Is this pasty enough for you now?
This is pasty enough. I might add a splash more because the koji is still a bit dry. So in the interest of time, and you can just add a little bit more. Anyway, we added 2 grams of extra salt, so this should be okay. Okay, so slightly wetter is better. For breads also, wetter is better.
So can you like make a paste after, like say if you used whole beans and koji?
I wouldn't use whole, I would mash it up a little bit. Whole, maybe if it's like a really small bean or like dal or something like that, then yeah, it'll break it down. Yeah. So we'll try and like push this down, maybe even like whack it on, if there was a piece of cloth or something.
Flavorings like chilies or spices or anything else?
You can. They are called amino paste, so not strictly, not really not like Japanese miso. You can make the miso, and then also once it's fermented, you can flavor it after also. It's there's no rules really. It's like once you understand.